So I'm working on the Viking 6430, and one of the problems here was that it was stuck in the buttonhole mode. Well, I've got that fixed, so now the zigzag works properly. You pull it out and it does the different sections, the different steps of the buttonhole, and then you push it back and then it's with control again. So that's fixed. A couple of other problems. Obviously this is still pretty spongy, pretty tight, but at least it's working. One of the things that I noticed right off is that the needle plate, the hole where the needle goes through the plate here, is got a big chunks out of it. You can see where the needle has struck all around the needle plate. And it's actually gouged a big hole out of the front of it because it's been set. Somebody has set the needle too far forward, so it should be going through the center of the hole, and it's hard to tell from this angle. Oops. But the needle is going too far forward. It should be back in the hole a bit. There's a lot of play here. Shouldn't be moving like that. So consequently, the needle is striking the front of the plate and probably breaking a lot of needles. So that needs to be fixed. Also, when I put it in straight stitch, so when you turn the zigzag control off of zigzag onto straight stitch, the needle bar is still zigzagging slightly. It's going to be really hard to tell without on a video, because you have to run it, and when you run it and you look, when you put it on straight stitch and then you look over here, this little piece right here should not be moving. And if you look carefully, well, it's hard to tell on this video. If you look carefully, you can see it moving from side to side. So on a zigzag, it goes back and forth, and when it gets to straight stitch, it should stop, but it continues to vibrate. So the straight stitch will never look straight. So what I need to do here is I need to move the needle bar. There's a series of adjustments. There's a couple different ways to do it, but I need to move the needle bar back into the hole a little bit. I also need to internally, in the back here, is where a lot of the controls take place, and there's an adjustment to take the vibration out of the needle, out of the zigzag, and in doing that also it increases the space in the buttonhole, because on a buttonhole you have the one side and the other side, and there should be a space in between for cutting width. And the way it's set right now is the zigzag is going to overlap that gap, and it's not going to allow for a buttonhole cutting width. So as you straighten out the stitch width to a straight stitch, it increases that hole slightly. So I can kill two birds with one stone with that. Another thing that's wrong with this machine is the hook timing is off. So the hook is the part here that actually catches the thread on the upward stroke of the needle. So when the hook is placed in the machine and it turns, as the needle, you can see the needle in the material, maybe you can see it in there. And as the hook comes by the needle, it needs to come past the hook at exactly 2.5 millimeters. And it's actually hitting the needle early, and so the hook is already past the needle when it gets to the 2.5, and the needle, somebody has adjusted the needle bar too high. So not only is it striking the needle early, the needle is too high anyway, so it's going to skip stitches. So that needs to be fixed, and I can adjust the hook timing. There's a series of 3 screws that have to be switched around because one is a pointed hook, pointed set screw. But I can fix that, and then I can adjust the needle bar height. And then also, if you look inside of this machine here, there's a lot of lint and debris that's just really impacted in here. I need to clean all that stuff out because I can see it from the front, and I haven't even taken the covers off, and I can guarantee you that inside there's a lot more. So I have a little bit of work cut out to get this thing working properly. It probably should have the pattern selector rebuilt, but that's a whole nother can of worms that I can do. It's no problem, but it adds a lot of money to the equation, and we don't want to do that, I don't think. So we'll see. So that's the main things. Got this fixed, the buttonhole. Need to zero out the zigzag. I need to probably get a different plate. I'll hunt in my used plate and see if I can find a used plate that's better than this one. But I do need to move the needle back so it doesn't skip stitches and bang up the plate. I need to adjust the hook timing. I need to clean this stuff out and lower the needle bar back to its original spot.